welcome back to the Liverpool Community Podcast. I'm your host, Chase Johnson Lynch, and we're back here for a new season of shows with more and more interesting people for you to be introduced to hear from, to learn more about. And I'm here joined by the lovely, I would say participant, contestant, but why would I do that? The lovely guest, Nina Condron. How you doing, Nina?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, no. Thank you very much for coming on because, I've often, been doing the show for some time now. And, we've never had, somebody that kind of, comes from an industry level involved in music. We've had artists. We've had entertainers. We've had, actors, comedians, all that. But somebody who's from behind the scenes and everything we never really had and stuff. And so what I would like you to let us know is tell us about your role at Mixlo and what Mixlo is.
Yeah, thank you. So Mixlo is a new streaming service, and I work with them as a consultant. So I help them to do the licensing. So I work with different distributors and label services companies, which, for those of you who don't know, are the people who put the music from the artists onto the platforms.
The important people.
The important people, yes, very important. Without them, you can't get your music put on the platforms to Spotify, Apple Music, and in the future, hopefully, Mixlo.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you were saying something about, when it's the discoverability of new artists. I mean, can you tell me what did that mean?
Yeah, so as I'm sure many people are aware, for a new artist who's trying to break through into the industry, up and coming, it can be very difficult for them because there is so much music out there right now.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to compete with the major labels as an independent artist can also be very difficult if you don't have huge marketing budgets and things like that. So the idea of Mixlo was essentially to help these artists break through. And one of the ways in which we've done that, which is a little bit different to the other platforms, is by using the location data of the user. So when I log into the app now, I'm in Liverpool, I'll be able to see who the local up-and-coming Liverpool artists are, as well as the kind of global superstars. So for those artists, they're now not competing against the whole global economy of artists.
Yeah.
It just makes it a little bit easier for them to be discovered.
They're kind of on the same list as people that they are actually grown up watching and everything else that.
Exactly, yeah. So, artists who listen to other artists will be able to, discover their music as well, and then maybe they can reach out to them and do tour supports and things like that. And we really just want to kind of build a community and a that kind of idea of having a thriving local scene. So for the users, they can find out who these artists are, and then if they like their music, they can go and buy tickets to their shows, support them through merchandise, and they can also support them by tipping the artist.
Yeah.
So if they tip the artist and they're still a kind of early stage career artist, they'll get lots of points, and then if they kind of recommend the music to their friends and family, they get more points if they then like them and things like that. So it will also help the users to kind of show how cool they are and how many awesome bands they know.
It also helps for the stuff to go back to the artist, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we've now been in the time period where the record labels are no longer the giants in control anymore. I mean, with Spotify and all these streaming services, it's we have the individual able to be kind of in charge of their creativity a little bit.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that's what Mixlo is doing, is giving that platform for these individual artists to, to be heard, to be, representing the scene. And in that aspect is when we got YouTube, we got a lot of the bedroom artists, where the people are just playing on YouTube or TikTok and all that kind of stuff. But, Mixlo, that's why I think if you could just say something, what is the importance of distribution and licensing? Because the main thing about it is a lot of people doing cover work. right? And which is not licensed for the individual because those songs cost money. But you
Yeah.
thinking, hey, I'm on my guitar in my bedroom. It doesn't matter. It does.
Yeah.
It's not just a YouTube strike you're getting and everything like that. So can you just say a little bit something like that before we move over there?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you're totally correct in that regard. And it's a shame because I think the industry kind of makes itself very complicated, and so for a lot of artists, they just don't know this thing. It's not like they're setting out to do anything intentionally wrong, but at the same time, if they're not buying licenses correctly and not getting things done officially and properly, they are hurting the industry because those artists who've written that music deserve to be paid for it. And although they might be the mega superstars of the people that they're covering, if it was the other way around, I'm sure that they would want somebody to look after them and make sure that they are getting paid what they're due as well. So
yeah. I mean, no, it is just an important thing, around licensing and distribution also, as far as actually getting that money back, to be distributed is also important as well. I mean, just because you play your song and you got like 100 views or 1,000 views on YouTube doesn't mean, nothing really in the sense of distribution, does it? Because that's just like, you might get some Google AdSense 2 or 3 years down the line or whatever, but distribution is immediate, isn't it? I mean, and it's an important thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, so with YouTube, one of the main ways that artists can earn revenue is through YouTube Content ID, which is basically kind of sending your WAV file, and I don't really know, it's complex, but essentially they look at the WAV form and they're able to kind of match it with other people who are using your music in the videos. So, and that also works the same across kind of Instagram, Facebook, Snap, a couple of other platforms. So it's user-generated content. One of the issues that I see kind of regularly in my kind of role helping at a distribution and label services company is that artists don't understand that they need to have not used any samples and have samples cleared and things like this.
Or made, or
Yeah, if it's they can have samples, but as long as they're exclusive to them. If they buy non-exclusive samples, it makes it very difficult for it to go to those platforms because other people can use it. So therefore, that WAV file is now not unique. That's one of the biggest kind of things that I see in that side that a lot of artists just don't understand. So.
Well, I just want to thank you, Nina, for explaining that, because you definitely did it way better than I could, and everything like that. I always hate getting slapped on the wrist, right, Phil? I called him Chris.
Don't know what you're on about.
All right, whatever. Yeah, called him Chris. Anyway, so another thing.
That came out of left.
I don't know where that came from. Either way, is that there's also another project that seems to be near and dear to you. Is another, new project that you're involved with called Radio Wigwam.
Yes.
And and so please tell us about Radio Wigwam. It's something that I've heard of and everything, and maybe other people have heard of themselves. But tell us about Radio Wigwam.
Yeah, so I got involved with Radio Wigwam around about a year ago, and I just really loved their kind of missions and goals to support grassroots independent artists, give them a platform where their music gets heard, because as we all know, there's so much good music out there.
Oh, yeah.
But the problem is there's so much, it's very hard for them to, as I was saying earlier, find those places, have a platform to get exposure. And one of the best things about it as well is that it's anybody can go to the website and sign up for free, upload their music. There's also subscription bases as well if they want to upload more music or have kind of priority listening and get involved potentially with shows and stuff like that. But I like that it's accessible to everyone as well. So yeah, Radio Wigwam has some big goals moving into next year. So they're currently available on DAB in Cardiff, online and within an app as well. They have their own app. And we're looking to launch onto DAB into Liverpool. And
yes, now that's what we want to hear. But I mean, basically you don't have kind of like a set time yet, because as most people sometimes come on here, sponsorship is always good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So you're looking for sponsors.
Yeah, so we're looking to partner with interested music companies, brands who are looking to kind of fulfill some of their corporate responsibilities, supporting artists, and obviously with a radio station, there's a lot of opportunities for your business to be put in front of thousands of people, and radio is still a very important medium for that to happen.
Yeah, no, definitely true. I mean, like, because you had just recently had an event, like as you said, like a network event at the Casimir Gardens, and everything else like that. And that was, it was an interesting start, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a great way for us to kind of explain what we're looking to do and our launch.
Get yourselves out there.
Yeah. So it was kind of serendipitous, actually. I mean, I started working with Radio Wigwam. And you don't always have the opportunity to launch into particular cities. Obviously, I'm based in Liverpool, and it just came around that there was an opportunity to launch into Liverpool. So it just makes a lot of sense, because it feels like for the type of music that we do, kind of less kind of commercial music, more grassroots. There was a bit of a gap in the market. So, and as we all know, Liverpool has millions of incredible artists, so we definitely won't be short of good music to play when we launch.
We love independent artists here, don't we, Phil? We do. And everything like that. But I mean, you had some independent artists performing on that night.
Yes.
And everything like that. So always love to give a shout out to the independents. So like such as
so the artists that we had performing were Sonic Whip and Pale Strangers.
Wow.
So
but one of them is from Norway or something like you said? Or?
Yeah, they're from the Netherlands. Yeah.
Sorry.
You got the end bit, it's fine.
I got the end. All right. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. But they came all the way out for it, though. Yeah,
that's correct. Yeah, so Radio Wigwam's also partnered with some festivals. So there was a festival in Stockport called the Firebolt Festival, which is one of our partners.
Okay.
And Radio Wigwam had a stage there, and they were putting artists on. Sonic Whip was one of the artists that was picked to perform. And so that's why they were over here. In fact, I think Pale Strangers performed as well. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was over the weekend, and then we did our event on the Tuesday or Wednesday. Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, but it sounds interesting. I mean, because there's more to come from Radio Wigwam. I mean, right now it's already airing on DAB and everything like that. So people, I believe there's an app and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it's on DAB in Cardiff currently. The plans are to launch into Liverpool. We also did a similar event in Manchester as well. I know Liverpool Manchester tensions can be
No, listen, we're not sports people, are we, Phil?
You're not.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, it's like you don't talk about Liverpool or Everton.
You can't join me on anything, can you? I love him. So either way is like, usually during the interview, I'll ask people like their origin story, because I'm like a super fan. Superhero fan. So basically, I asked you like, so what were you doing before all of this, Nina?
So my journey started out, I wanted to be an artist, as most people do, and I grew up in a small little village in Leicestershire. And there I was the best artist, because I was...
Of course, the only artist in Leicestershire.
Exactly. I was the only artist in the village, so I was definitely the best.
All right.
But then I went to uni, studied music, and it was kind of a broad course, so it covered being an artist to doing marketing to studio production to also learning about the business side. And I found the business side really interesting, so I kind of shifted into the business side. So I used to work for a company called Horus Music. I started there as an intern, worked my way up where I was director, sat on the board, pretty much second in command.
It's easy to
And then-
rise in the local music scene, isn't it?
yeah, in Leicester.
Oh,
yeah.
what did you went from making coffee to like answering phones to being in charge? Hey, somebody got to do it, right?
yeah. But that's
Was it
it.
a small office or something like that? Did it
Yeah,
become
so
bigger?
by the
'Cause
end there
I've
was
heard of
about
them. I think
40
I've-
people.
Yeah, I
in
think I've heard of house music and everything like
Yeah.
that, But there was another one as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I there's another company set up who were based in also based in Leicester, and they kept on winning all these deals off me. So I was like, what's going on with this
Leicester,
company? I need to go and
what's
find
up?
out
Yeah.
more about this company, Unchained. I really got on with the guys there, and so I asked them if they'd be interested in me coming on board with them. So I now kind of help them with their artist and label services, and all those. Now I can win the deals again. So that's
I
good.
don't mean to throw you off or anything, but what about any artists that we may have heard of came out of any of these places?
So like with Unchained, so we do digital distribution. We also do physical distribution as well, which is rare for a company. So the most recent project I worked on last time I was down in Leicester was with Tom Meehan, who's the original singer of Kasabian. Also,
Kasabian, I've heard of him.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, also a big Leicester legend. That's where Kasabian are from. So we did an in-store at HMV selling the vinyl, and we also put it out on digital. That was a pretty good success story. It was cool to meet Tom, because he is, in my opinion, one of the greatest frontmen around. Yeah.
Right. No, because I thought, I could have sworn I may have heard of Hardest Music. Have you ever heard of Hardest Music, Phil?
No.
All right, thanks, Phil. All right, Phil's a musician, you say.
No, but no. So the Tom Meehan show was with Unchained Music, which is the company I work with now.
Hey, listen, local artists doing their thing is what this is all about and everything like that. It's not about, like, who you know. It's like, it's like about doing the work and everything and being involved. And, like, they were distributed and all that kind of stuff, right? So, hey, there you go. Now, when I asked you about, your background, and you kind of, like, hinted at, I was doing something in college. Have you dabbled into music yourself? Would be yes. In what way?
Yeah, so as shifted into the business side, and then just this last year, as I kind of set myself up as a consultant, I kind of I'm currently doing a business and AI course, which is really interesting.
Business and AI. Dun,
Yes,
dun, dun.
for creatives specifically.
Dun, 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 twice. But they'll be trying to change your image and everything, which we will talk about a little bit about branding. But have you ever AI'd yourself?
Oh no.
I have.
Have you?
Phil, how sexy do I look in AI?
That's a very subjective question.
Oh, come on, Phil. You
That
know
was
it's
it.
true.
That was a
Because
very
it change-
considered answer
Phil,
as
it
well.
changes you. That's why I'm trying to say it gives you like an alternate reality version of yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, it is interesting, I have to say.
I mean, well, you worked at it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. But
Yeah, so as part of the course, they asked you to said, look at your life right now, right? Because this is not something people usually do.
No.
So where are you right now? This is your like what your life is looking in the next 1 to 5 years. And then they said, imagine what your life would be if money was no object and you could just do whatever you wanted. And when I looked at that bit, I was like, oh, I'm now an artist. And I was like, well, why am I worrying about money and not doing what I really want to do,
Yeah.
So that was it really. I just decided, I'm going to stop saying I'm kind of an artist and saying I am an artist, because
So-
that's important to have that mindset that you say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it's like the millionaire mindset, isn't it? I mean, and so Primal Live, is this your first performance?
So I joined Primal Live. That was kind of like one of the first steps of it. So it's a kind of you do a 7-week kind of artist development program, which is all free for the artist. So I said about money earlier.
Hey.
Forget it. But it's all free for the artist, and it's raising money for the Whitechapel Centre, which is obviously super important as well, especially with these winds and rain that we've had. You know,
Oh my God!
Could you imagine having to be on the streets?
Oh no, man!
I
saw this real video in Scotland where it's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. Now here comes that powerful question that you've been waiting for. What have you learned from your experience in this business?
So I think one of the main things that I've kind of learned from an artist perspective anyway, if I was kind of to give artists some kind of tips about how to, you know, move forward with their careers, it would be to look at the importance of marketing. Because I meet too many artists who they have amazing music and they've spent, you know, lots and lots of money going to nice studios and working with producers and pouring all this time and effort into their craft. And then I say, okay, so what's your plan for marketing? And it's, and you know, I'm sure this isn't a new story for you either. The amount of money that you spend on recording and production and stuff like that, you should have like an equal budget, if not more, for marketing, because you could have the most amazing song in the world, but if you don't market it correctly, who's going to hear it?
And it could start simply as social media.
Of course, yeah. It doesn't, you know, you don't always have to spend lots of money, but having a smart plan and doing as much as you can kind of organically with social media. And, you know, if you can, then even, you know, just putting like £10 on some ads and some meta ads and things like that can go, you know, a much further way than if you just kind of, you know, throw the music out and hope for the best and don't tell anyone it's out there.
No, how are people going to find you if they don't know you?
Yeah.
And basically the whole digital content thing is about not really just like, hey, I am doing nothing today, or hey, this is what I'm eating today. It's about getting people to know who you are behind the performance.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, you know, we talk a lot about like artists, like, well, back then in the before the millennium, you know, we didn't have this whole social media where we had to know everything about an artist. They had that air of mystery about them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We didn't know what they, you know, what clothes they put on in the morning or what they did or where they lived. But now we know everything, you know, and it's just kind of like, I still have to like you to want to actually follow you, don't I? I can't just follow you just because you're there. You know what I mean? And so that's what the marketing is. So then last thing would be the importance of branding. Yeah,
so I mean, they're obviously pretty closely related. But I suppose the difference between branding and marketing is the way that you kind of present yourself. So it's the way that you dress, the way that you style yourself. It's your imagery in terms of you know, your like artist kind of logos and photos and all this sort of stuff, you know.
Well, what I liked is what you said initially, just to remind you, was what you said about people being too clever with their branding.
Yeah.
You know, like naming themselves in these like really weird, obscure ways that people can't even fathom or find, you know, because it's too clever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, because you asked me what my artist name was. So I go by Nina Condron as my artist name, which is obviously my actual name. But I said the reason why I do that is because obviously I'm egotistical and I've Googled myself and I'm the only one that comes up. So and but that's important because for artists you need to be able to be discovered. You need to be able to be found. So having a really clever name or a name that's the same as a massive brand or a product is you're especially when you're new, you're going to be on the like page 33 of Google, you know, and that's not useful, especially when platforms like Spotify and the way that they index stuff, it brings up the more popular artist names first. So even if you don't quite spell the artist name right, because you've just heard it, for example, you'll type in like one digit less and it will come up with a totally different band, like that has none of those letters in.
No,
I don't know if you've ever experienced that,
I've
but it
seen
drives me wild.
James spelled with a Y and everything like that, and people just okay. Just to do that thing you're talking about, it's always trying to beat the algorithm.
Kiss.
What, you want to kiss me? What?
No.
But the name Kiss is an unusual name?
No, keep it simple, stupid.
Okay, keep it simple. Oh.
Yes. The acronym.
That took me a second.
Yeah.
I thought he was talking about the band.
Yeah.
All right.
I have to say I was a little bit confused. Yeah, that's a good saying. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, what do you got coming up and everything like that? So I was asking, like, is anything interesting happening? And you told me that Radio Wigwam is having an award show.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so that's in January 21st and 22nd. It's down in London at the Bedford in Balham. And the awards show is kind of like an event that we put on every year with Radio Wigwam, and it's incredible because it's supporting those kind of grassroots artists who, for many of them, it's the first time they've ever got an award. And what people kind of don't really realise, who aren't kind of in the music industry, is how long it takes for an artist to break through nowadays. For some of these artists, they've been gigging constantly and writing music and putting out recordings for the last 8 years, and they still haven't got that, that massive
and
kind of breakthrough.
They need that stamina.
So to get an award and for them to feel seen and recognised, it means everything to them. Because I've been to fancy awards shows before, and the kind of the big ones where all the major labels go, and it doesn't really feel the same because sometimes the artists don't even bother to turn up. It's just like, oh yeah, another award, cool, cheers. Whereas for these artists, it means absolutely everything.
You need to see that guy in that tuxedo T-shirt. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, we won.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and the atmosphere there is just electric.
No, I could I could imagine. And I mean, I think you said you have a little performance coming up yourself.
I do, yeah. So I mentioned Primal Live earlier. So I'm going to be performing at the Invisible Wind Factory on the 25th of October. It's a Halloween theme, so we can all dress up and look spooky.
What would you dress up as? Myself. No. No. So maybe I should keep it a surprise and I'll have to come and see. But it's themed into one of the songs that I'm going to do. So I'm going to be performing at least one of my original songs. But there's 35 grassroots artists. It's a competition, so the audience gets to vote. It's in heats. And then, so if I get through to the final, I'll get to do another song. And then hopefully, go on and win the thing. That's the goal. Well, hey, look at that. So it's heats. I like that. And everything all in one night then, yeah?
Yeah, so it's 3 o'clock until 9 p.m. So you can either...
At the Invisible Wind Factory here in Liverpool.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And it's for the charity of the Whitechapel.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so so every artist... as part of taking part in the development program, they just have to sell some tickets and raise some money.
So this is kind of like the end game for the thing that you said you were doing with.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so it all kind of leads up to this big event, So it's obviously Invisible Wind Factory is a 1,500 capacity venue. So for a lot of these artists, it's maybe the first time they'll ever get to perform on a stage that big. So be exciting.
Wow, sounds exciting. How excited sounding you, Phil?
I'm really excited.
You sure you're not jealous? Phil ready to pull his guitar out.
And that.
All right, I knew it. I knew he was jealous and everything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been great having you on here, Nina. To kind of discuss the grassroots and also to discuss the music industry from a different perspective. I think I appreciate that. I hope our audience can appreciate that as well. And everything. And could I ask, how can people find you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, don't give out your personals, but I'm just saying.
No, well, I'm happy for anybody to connect with me on social media. It's just at Nina Condron.
Yeah. I mean, it's just that, because, I mean, like, artists will always, like, say, yeah, where could I go? Who could I talk to? Whatever, blah, 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 and everything. So it's always good to do that. Obviously, if they have music, they probably will be able to reach you or Radio Wigwam, because you gave us how we can find Radio Wigwam, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, if you just go to Google or go to their website, you'll be able to create an account and upload your music there.
Yeah.
That's the best way to get involved with them. But yeah, for anything else, I'm happy for people to get in touch with me. This I believe that all artists should have the opportunity to kind of come and meet with people like ourselves.
Yeah.
And have the opportunity to grow from it. That's why we're here. That's why we do what we do, is to support artists.
Well, no, exactly. You're clearly right. That is why we are here, at Big Hunter and stuff like that. My man Phil on the desk, he has a show. He's probably been burning up to just say, hey, you can always find me.
She already knows.
Yeah. I know she knows, but I was talking about the audience.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, so forget it, Phil. Your time is up. So, gave him a chance to drop dime on that old Big Hondo Records radio show and everything like that. But Nina Condron, I'd like to thank you for joining us here in the studio and everything, giving up your time and stuff like that for our new season. So I'd like to thank Nina Condron. I'm your host, Chase Johnson Lynch. Please like and subscribe. And naturally, you can comment this time because it's like, we love to hear from you and everything. And hopefully, you know what? Until next time, we out of here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been amazing.
No worries.
Cheers.